Hey everyone, this is Tony Teaches Tech. I'm Tony, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Vultr virtual private server with a free SSL certificate. Now, this is not one of your typical self-signed SSL certificates that gives you those browser warnings that you can't proceed or you shouldn't proceed to the next page. This is a legit SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a working website that runs on the HTTPS protocol that is secure and encrypted. So if that's something you're interested in, let's get right into the tutorial here. Okay, so I am in my Vultr dashboard and I'm gonna start up a new virtual private server. I'm gonna leave it as a cloud compute server. You can pick it to be anywhere. I'm gonna pick LA since I'm in Arizona. And just for demonstration purposes, you can pretty much pick whatever you want, but I'm going to pick WordPress just to show that as the website. Cheapest plan works for me, $5 a month, where you get 1 CPU core, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and a terabyte of bandwidth, just about. And that looks good. Let's add our host name. I'm going to choose site1.xyz. This will be your domain name, example.com, google.com, whatever domain name you own. So we'll go ahead and deploy that right now. This is probably the longest part of the process until this installs. But as you can see, I have some other websites hosted here, and they all have their associated IP addresses. So what we're waiting for here is the IP address, because the first thing I want to do is to hop on over to Namecheap, which is where I bought my domain name site1.xyz from, and we're going to update those DNS records for Site1 to point that back to the IP address for the virtual private server that we just set up. So once we have that information, we can go ahead and paste that in. Let me go into that those actual settings. So it's under managed, and the same concept applies here for no matter where you got your domain name from. You're going to want to go into that account, log in, find that domain name, and go into the DNS settings like we're doing here, and then update the A record for that. So I'm going to get rid of what was in here already. And hopefully by now we have the IP address for the Site1, which we don't just yet, but we'll continue prepping for that anticipation. So it's going to be an A record, and this will just be a quick tutorial to have the main website, right? Like site1.xyz, not www.site1.xyz. So just site1.xyz. You want to use @ for the host name, and we're going to put the IP address in here when we get that. But also we're going to point the www version of the website, so www.site1.xyz, to that same IP address. So that's where you're going to use those two A records. And we don't have it yet. I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to make you wait. So unless it pops up within the next 5 seconds, I'll pause the video and come back when it finishes. Let's pause the video. I'll see you in a second. Oh, well, never mind. We didn't have to pause the video. It's right here. So we got the IP address. So I'm going to copy that, and we're going to come back over here to Namecheap and paste it in here, save those changes, commit them, and we are good to go. So that'll give us time for the DNS servers to propagate that information. And now what we can do is open up a terminal window and SSH into this server. So by default with Vultr, you're going to SSH as root at that IP address. If you're on Windows, you can use PuTTY to do the same exact thing. And this initial confirmation, just say yes, and that looks good. So we're on the server now. The first thing we want to do is confirm what web server is running here. So let's go into etc, and you're going to either see Apache or Nginx here. So let's check for Apache. There is Apache. What about Nginx? We have both of them. Okay, so let's go in Nginx. Let's see what we have as far as our sites in here. We have a confd directory, and it looks like WordPress was installed here. And I just want to confirm. I'm not sure why they have. Yeah, there's nothing in the Apache directory. So this is definitely where we want to be looking, in the Nginx directory, and that's important for right now because we're going to be installing certbot. Okay, so certbot is the automated SSL installer that Let's Encrypt uses. So we're going to install that. So let's install that. apt get install certbot, and we also want to install python -certbot certbot-nginx. So if you're going to be doing this with Apache server, you want to put python-certbot-nginx. Okay, so perfect. We already have certbot on here, so that wasn't even necessary. Now let's go ahead and see if we have our DNS settings propagated. So I'm going to go to site1.xyz, and this is looking good because it's resolving to the WordPress website. So there's one other piece of information that you should know about Vultr, and it by default gives you the what do I want to say, like extra credentials for the WordPress admin dashboard, like the backend. So that's what you find in this additional WordPress server details here, what we're associating with site1.xyz and Vultr. So we're going to copy that username and paste the copy the password and paste it in here. And then you'll see that we have a non-secure version of Site1 already set up and running. So let's go ahead and just quickly go through this. So we'll call it Tony's site, username admin, password. I'm just going to use a weak password so I can remember it. Email tony@tonyteaches.tech, and we'll install WordPress. So that's fine. So go ahead and log in, admin pass, and now we have, like I said, an unsecure version of our website running here, site1.xyz. Okay, back to the terminal window, and let's actually install these SSL certificates. So we'll go to the command line and type in certbot --nginx. That's all you really need to do. So it's going to ask us for our email address for updates and everything. So I'm going to say tony@tonyteaches.tech. Do you agree to the terms and service? Yes, I do. Type A. Do you want them to send you other emails? You can say yes or no. I'm going to say no. And no names were found in your configuration files. Please enter in your domain names. Okay, so I'm not sure why. Oh, I know exactly why. So let's get out of that. I completely forgot. We have to go into the etc nginx directory and go into the compd directory, and we were in here, and I should have done this earlier. We want to go to WordPress https.conf. Okay, and instead of the IP address, or they don't even do that in here, instead of this just underscore, type in site1.xyz, and we can also get rid of this because that's just the comment. So that is going to be our server name. And you know what? We can also do www.site1.xyz. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for the HTTP version of our website, even though we're just going to redirect all traffic from HTTP to HTTPS. So we'll do site1.xyz and www.site1.xyz. Okay, let's go back and run certbot again. You can run it from any directory. And now that's what we were looking for. It's reading those configuration files that we just edited, certbot is, and now we can get the SSL certificate for these two versions of our website. So you can either explicitly type 1, 2, or just hit enter to apply an SSL certificate for both of them. So I'll just hit enter. And now the certbot installer is confirming that you actually do own this domain name. And when that finishes up, you should get a positive message from them saying that the SSL certificate was installed. So cross our fingers for that, and it looks like it's good. Here's the last option we have to pick. Do we want to redirect the traffic from HTTP to HTTPS? Yes. Okay, so hit 2 for redirect, and bam, your certificate and chain have been saved. Okay, so I don't think we have to restart the server, so let's just refresh the page here and see if we get that redirection working for us. And we do, because now we see that we have a lock. We have that oh so sought after lock for a secure website. Let's take a look. We have an SSL certificate issued by Let's Encrypt. That looks good. It expires November 18th. It is August 18th, so you got 3 months of validity here. If you want to learn how to automatically update that instead of coming back in here every 3 months, check out this other video that I have on that topic. I'll have it on screen and linked below as well. So that's about it. We I guess for most of you, if you're not using WordPress, you're done, you're free to go. But if you are using WordPress, there's maybe one other piece of information that I want you to change here, and we're just going to log back into our WordPress admin dashboard. We'll need those credentials again, and we'll go into, yes, I know it's weak. No, I don't want to save it. We'll go into settings, general, and we just want to tack on the S here. Okay, HTTPS site1 for the WordPress address URL, and the site address, same exact thing. Save that changes, and you should be good to go. Guys, if you got some value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely consider subscribing. And if you do, I'll see you in the next one.